As white people, is our deepest fear that we are inadequate? Or is our deepest fear that Black excellence is powerful beyond measure? It is their light, not their darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who are they to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are they not to be? Look honestly, and you will see how they demonstrate love as a reflection of our unwarranted hate. Our playing God does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about positioning ourselves and controlling the narrative so that Black and brown folks feel insecure around us. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of the Spirit that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in all of us, no matter what your skin tone is. And as we let our own light shine, by atoning for and repairing the harm of our ways, as we learn to serve and see the true greatness of Aboriginal and Indigenous cultures and human beings around us, we unconsciously give white people around the planet the permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. From this point, we can build a new world that is connected to the planet and each other. Together, humanity is achievable.
What does black excellence means? Because the word is, I mean, flying everywhere. Black excellence. And of course, the white folks are also explaining what black excellence means and how it is affecting them, or how it is making them to fidget and to feel like, oh, they are not adequate enough, or they are not good enough, because they've come to realize that despite all the bottlenecks that were created for the blacks not to break through, not to forge ahead, not to do things that are of great, essence, and been celebrated everywhere. The black always break through. They always break forth. They can be caged. They can be repelled. They can be hindered, and they begin to feel like, let's admit it. Let's say it. These guys are excellent people. Anywhere they go, anything they do, they excel. And this is what the white people are saying. Let's go check a couple of videos that I've put together for you guys, and we can begin the conversation around these clips that I've put together. Meanwhile, credit belongs to original creator of every content that I've put together for you. But do me a favor, watch till the end so that we can know exactly what they are saying, why they are saying it, and you can bring in your perceptions and your views, because all views matters on this platform. Let's go check it out, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I want to take a second to talk about the use of the phrase black excellence because it's been coming up in my comments so much. When someone says black excellence, it's used to refer to the success of someone that's black in a space that's traditionally not been open to black people. So, for example, as late as 1959, African Americans were turned away from medical school simply because of their race. That's only 60 years. That could be your parents' or your grandparents' generation. Even today, the number of black physicians is less than 6%, compared to 15% of the US population. That means that there's still barriers for students of color wanting to enter into STEM careers. Black excellence is not excellence because you're black. It's succeeding in spite of the fact that historically, these spaces have kept black people out of them. And it's important to highlight black excellence so that people who have often not seen themselves in these spaces realize that they belong there too, and we can begin to change the narrative.
To all of my black friends, listen, I need to say this from the heart. You don't have to keep shrinking to fit into a world that was never built with you in mind. All that stuff they taught us about professionalism, that wasn't about excellence. That was about conformity. That was about white normative behavior. I'm Scott Lloyd, scholar of race, religion, culture, and communication. Check out my book, The God I Was Given. It's available for pre-order on Amazon now. Look the part, they said, but whose part? Straight hair, light voice, neutral clothes, no big earrings, no dialect, no edge. Keep your feelings in check. Don't get too passionate. Don't be too anything. That's not professional. That's being erased. Dressed it up nice, sure. They made it sound like success. But let's call it what it really is, a centuries-old set of rules designed to make you disappear while still showing up to work. And if you're not white, whose rules? They never stop shifting. So you adjusted, you learned to code switch, you tamed your curls, you softened your tone, you changed your names on resumes. Your ideas were stolen. In meetings, you said nothing because you know what it cost to speak up. You've done this to survive. But here's the part that cuts deep. We start judging each other by the same messed up standard. We side-eye somebody's outfit. We roll our eyes at the way they talk and whisper, "She's not polished." When what we mean is, she's not performing whiteness well enough. And that, my friends, that's how white supremacy keeps winning, by making people work for it. So no, I'm not saying throw professionalism in the trash. I'm saying take it back, redefine it, make it yours. Excellence doesn't mean erasure. Respect doesn't mean silence. Professionalism doesn't mean pretending that you're something that you're not. You don't have to prove your worth by how much you can endure white spaces. You're not better because you've mastered the art of blending in. And to my white folks listening, if you care enough to look in the mirror, ask yourself, who made the rules, who benefits, and who gets shut out? If your idea of qualified only looks, talks, and thinks like you, then it's not a qualification. It's colonization in a necktie. To my black brothers, sisters, and family, keep showing up in your fullness, in your fire, in your culture. You don't have to apologize for your presence. You are the standard. And if the room doesn't recognize your brilliance, it's the room that's broken, not you. You hear me?
Why do white people resent black excellence? Let's talk about it. Not all white people are racist, obviously, but there is a specific subset for whom black excellence seems like a personal affront to them, right? It really bothers them when black people succeed. The 13th Amendment emancipated enslaved black Americans in 1865, and then the Jim Crow laws kind of wrapped up with the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So if we do the math, that's about 61 years in which black Americans were able to strive for success in any sort of meaningful way without like the constraints of the law pulling them down. 61 years. If we compare that to white Americans who besieged a land already owned and occupied by indigenous Americans, we'll put that around 1620 when, the Mayflower came here, then that gives them about 425 years to establish success in this country. 425 versus 61. If we compare those two fundamentally very different time spans, like, how much did white Americans actually do in all that time? If we are to compare even the poorest and most underprivileged of white America to black America generally, it is clear that white Americans are born way past the start line, right? By that I mean, by nature of being white in American society, you do benefit from all sorts of privileges. And to be frank, you're not exhausted by the horrible experience of facing racism on a daily basis, right? You do have a ton of privileges. So I imagine existing in this bubble of privilege that you totally deny. The existence of black people for whom success is like second nature, when it comes so easily and so readily, even though you've only had 61 years to achieve it, I imagine that's exhausting and frustrating. I imagine it makes people feel super, super inferior and hurts certain people's tiny, tiny little egos. And what do they blame that deep, deep psychic pain on? Well, of course, DEI and critical race theory and affirmative action. So I guess the question is, what might help those white Americans who just so strongly detest black excellence? What will help you? And for that, I would suggest a lot of therapy, a ton of therapy. And I would also just suggest that we open the schools, right? We teach people history. Yeah, maybe? Okay, bye.
Energy doesn't lie. If you're a person with a high self-esteem, whether you inherited it or You fought for it. You cannot be with someone who has a low self-esteem, because a person with low self-esteem, consciously or unconsciously or even subconsciously, will continue to cut into the factors that enhance your your high sense of self-esteem. So there's a photo floating around of the late great Dr. Nikki Giovanni, American poet, Black American poet, who means a lot to a lot of young women who, or just Black people, to the arts of Black America today. She's married. She was married to a white woman, and some people are asking the question again: why is it that activists and some high-achieving Black people ended up with white people, even though they made a career out of fighting for Black affirmation? There are two aspects that I want us to take a look at and understand why activists end up landing in relationships with non-Black people. When, as an activist, your journey, your mission is for the affirmation or high affirmation of Black people, understand you're in the self-esteem building business. The more you speak up, the more you fight, which usually when you're coming from a place of being put down and you're able to use your voice to come up, you're not only going to lift your profile, but you're going to also improve your sense of self. You're going to arrive at a sense of self-affirmation that's pretty high. And what do you know? It's going to be higher than a lot of the people of your group, because you have been actively fighting against the pressure. And so you end up being, in terms of self-affirmation, top of the totem pole. You may not be the richest, but you are, in terms of self-affirmation, top of the totem pole. So now, people who have a high sense of self, you grow into those people. And some of them fought for it like you. Some of them were brought up with it. Some of them inherited it. It was passed down to them. They never had to fight for it. But once you're there, you're there. And you start to move differently. You may not necessarily think differently, but you vibrate differently. You react differently. You speak differently. Your sense of your expression orchestration changes. Then, one of the main reasons why you were able to fight was because you have high aptitude. Therefore, you're of the excellent kind. So now, when you're high self-affirming, and then you're also excellent, because you can be high self-affirming without being excellent, right? It's just, yeah, you can be, but when you're high self-affirming and excellent, you're starting to be an outlier, not only among your group, but just in society as a whole. It becomes very difficult for you to find good company. Because truth be told, most people don't have the experience of succeeding in fighting the outer pressures in their journey to high self-affirmation. Most people don't succeed at it. We saw a lot in America that died on their way there. Or that maybe they got it before they died and then they got killed off. So those that survive, then you have the gift of being sort of either high aptitude or just highly gifted. That also puts you in a different sphere of operation. And then when you look at what it takes to be in a relationship with someone of high sense of self, highly gifted, that person's already an outlier, no matter what race or ethnicity you are. And so in reality, if you now want to take your position and say, okay, I want to improve these tendencies, of a high self-affirming and excellent, I want to imbue these traits on my ethnicity. You're going to have to reject a lot of people because you can fake your way into expressing high self-affirmation. You can fake that. But you cannot fake excellence. And many a surviving activist have been confronted with this, either in their middle age or later in life, and found themselves spending the remainder of their days with someone of a different race. Because they found that if they are to truly adhere to the integrity that excellence requires, ethnicity will not save you.
Someone said, "What does black excellence means?" And I believe that it is time for us to expatiate and build on what it really means. Because, I mean, look at what this black young guy said. He said it simply means that those platforms and opportunities that black folks were not given, and despite all of that they break forth, they were not allowed to go to the better schools, to the best of schools, to, I mean, get the best of houses, to get loan and opportunities. But despite all of that, he said they break forth. Now that is what it means to say that black excellence, because in the few places that they were privileged to get into, they excel. And this is the very reason why they were not given opportunities, because they know the capacity of the black folks. They know the DNA of the black folks is actually success, succeeding, excelling, excellent. They know that. And black excellence is nothing but a finesse, the ability, the skill, the professionalism, that when they get into any sphere of influence or industry or whatever they found themselves doing, they excel. And this has become a kind of a threat to them, because that is the very reason why they were not given opportunity. They don't want to give them opportunity. They don't want to do that. They do not want the black people to have the privilege and opportunities that they have. But as time unfold, those privileges were available because the black folks were always speaking and fighting and standing up for their right. And eventually, when they were given little opportunity, mark my word, I said lead to opportunity. They know how to maximize, they know how to use such opportunity. And that's exactly what happened. And now you are hearing of black excellence everywhere. They are talking it here and there because the few and little opportunities that were given to them, they've been able to maximize it. They've been able to stand shoulder to shoulder. And of course, they come out better than their contemporaries and other races. Because I must mention that white folks now know that these guys are geniuses. They are brilliant. They're excellent people. That is why you can't but talk about black excellence, black dominance, black excelling in every sphere. And this is what is making them worried. But a few of them that have a good heart, they've come to say that they are bothered, they are disturbed because they don't want to be toppled over. They don't want to be sidetracked or sidelined. But hey, if you are not good, that is what is going to happen to you. It's not about having the fear. No, it's about you doing what you should do and doing it well, doing it best. But if you don't do that, the black folks are going to take over from you. And that's exactly what is happening. And black excellence has come to stay because you see a lot of black people doing exceptionally well. Anywhere you find them, anything you find them doing, they do well, they're doing better. And now they can't but acknowledge that, hey, let's give it to them because they deserve it. Blacks are succeeding, white folks are crying. They are saying, why are blacks succeeding? Why are we not doing the way they are doing? Well, it's not about what somebody did to you or not. No, it's about what you have done to yourself by caging the black people for too long, but not not directly you anyway, your forefathers did that because they knew quite all right that the blacks are excellent people. They are smart, they're intelligent, and they try to catch them. But it's not going to last forever because you can catch their excellence, you can catch their skill. Their DNA is the DNA of greatness, of great minds, and that is what is happening. And it's not your fault, but hey, they even removed DEI. He said, you see that? But DEI is not about DEI. You see, you don't give them equality and don't no problem. But when we come to the field of play, we will know who is actually better. We can put all the policies against the black folk, they don't really care. But when they have the platform, they take over because black excellence is black excellence, black's expertise, black intelligence, black upliftment and success. That is what it means. And we don't joke with it. Black do not joke with it. We give our best. We do our best just to get that which is ours. And the question is, what are you doing to be excellent as well? That is what the white folks should think about. Are you giving what you should give to become excellent? Because black folks are doing that and they are getting it. Black excellence has taken over and more are yet to come because these younger generations that are coming, oh my, they're going to give you much for a ride. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your view, your perceptions about this interesting topic is, and let the conversation begin at the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you are new, please subscribe so that we can make this conversation broad, wide, and popular. Until I come your way again, don't forget, stay in love, stay in peace, and avoid trouble. Bye for now.